sorry about that, guys. We left off. You guys can hear me, right? We left off at Mao. Okay. And the next in line was a leader called Deng Xiaoping. Okay, he was a more moderate leader, and so this is like the late 70s, early 1980s. Okay, and he wanted to modernize China to sort of again compete with the Soviet Union and the United States. Was he able to do that? Obviously, in the long run, China was, because think about everything that a lot of the products that we use, probably the gizmo that you're looking at right now was made in China somewhere. So on some level, China, used these reforms to sort of become the economic powerhouse that they now are. They wanted to modernize China, right? And he called his program the Four Modernizations. And what those were, one was A, again, with the acronyms, right? A is for agriculture, right? I'm just going to abbreviate. Agriculture, right? They wanted to industrialize agriculture, make it more efficient. Okay. I, industry, which obviously subsidize factories. Subsidize means the government gives them money, and they were able to do that, like T, technology. And D is I'm going to put it over here. D is defense. Okay? So Deng Xiaoping, his program was based on this four modernizations: agriculture, industry, technology, and defense. Okay? Communes ended, okay? Industry improved, and people's per capita income doubled, meaning that people were making more money, the economy was growing, okay? People saw the benefits of some capitalism being infused. So what Deng Xiaoping was, and what he was a big proponent of, was allowing some capitalism in Chinese society, which we see today, right? Obviously, China is still communist, but they run their businesses in a very capitalistic way, meaning they are, interdependent. They trade on the world market. Okay, obviously they sell their goods overseas. Okay, right. This is very similar to what Lenin tried to do with his new economic policy. If you remember, in Russia, he tried to infuse some capitalism, right, some private enterprise. Deng Xiaoping attempted to do the same thing in China when he understood that communes and the communist model was not going to be successful. Okay. So now here we go with the fifth. Okay, so with all this said, with all this, improvement in Chinese society, you still had the suppression of the Chinese people. You still had censorship. You still had government control. Okay, so now you get another generation of people who want, what do they want? They want democracy. And this is called the fifth modernization. Okay? And who was leading the charge for a call for democracy? You have young students, you have the educated middle class, the workers, okay? They wanted more transparency in government, meaning they wanted to see what was going on. They wanted less censorship. They wanted more freedoms. Okay. Deng Xiaoping, although he was willing to make these reforms, like most leaders, they're willing to give up power. So he was like, no, that's not happening. And a very famous incident in 1989. I was actually in ninth grade when this happened. 8th grade. I remember watching this on TV, okay, the Tiananmen Square incident, and I have a picture of it. That's supposed to be an 8, sorry guys. Where government soldiers, the government soldiers and military was actually called into Tiananmen Square, which is a famous sort of part of the Forbidden City in Beijing, and there was demonstrations going on there, and there was a standoff between the government and students, and government actually opened fire on killing, hundreds of students, and this was sort of a show of force. Now the whole world sort of got like a spotlight in on what was going on in China. This was a show of government force against this call for democracy. Okay, so the program that you need to associate with Deng Xiaoping is the four modernizations: agriculture, industry, technology, and defense, and then what happened in the call for democracy in Tiananmen Square, and also understand that Deng Xiaoping attempted to infuse some capitalism into Chinese society to improve, China's position on the world stage. It wasn't like he was such a humanitarian, right? There's a lot of arguments about this, but it was more so to do it so China could sort of compete in the world market, which they eventually were able to do. All right. So sorry about sort of that interruption, but it's just I just wanted to kind of give you the highlights of